The economic decline is beginning to wake up the masses. Hey, everybody, you're watching Bull Boom Bear Bust. It is Sunday, June 5th, 2022. I apologize, I did not get a video out yesterday. It was a very busy day. As most of you know, I've got a regular job plus a family plus kind of a couple what people would call side hustles going on. But we've got some important news to get caught up on today. I did spend some of yesterday scouring the news and part of today scouring the news to bring you the most up-to-date economic information. And we're going to try to put it in a bigger picture perspective today. And yes, the masses are waking up to the economic decline. Even people that 6 months ago, 12 months ago, that thought I was over exaggerating or that I was being too negative, had a negative outlook on the economy, and on just negative outlook in general on the way things are headed. Those people are starting to wake up, and everywhere you look now, there's news talking about the rising cost of living, inflation. You can't watch any regular news broadcast without some mention of the rising cost of living, things that we've been warning about here for years. And I've got many messages, many emails from people telling me, thanks for letting me know the housing market, it's going to continue to go up. And a lot of other channels got really big and popular predicting home prices were going to crash. And I've been here pretty consistently telling you that no, it's just going to be more inflation, more rising prices. And some of those other channels are massive. They're huge. They're 10 times, even more than 10 times bigger than mine. And it's pretty sad, because they're being pushed out there. They're being promoted by the platforms, including the one you're listening on today. And supposedly they're trying to crack down on misinformation or disinformation. But the people that have been wrong for years, they're some of the more popular economic channels out there. But I continue to try to bring you the accurate information, and I continue to tell you to prepare for prices to go higher. And yes, that includes the housing market, and that's going to be contrary to a lot of big channels that you're going to see out there. Now, some people have said that I had predicted home prices to crash. No, that's not the case. If you just read the thumbnails and you see the word home price crash, you may think that. But if you actually watch the video, many videos that I put out, we talk about what other people are saying, including today. I tell you about how these other YouTube channels have been predicting home prices collapsing now for years. And I'll put maybe a quote in the headline of what somebody says. But if you actually take the time, listen to the video, and pay attention, you'll know that we've been predicting rising prices. And I was just talking to a friend of mine who moved to Arizona a few years ago, sold his home here, cashed out, had tremendous amounts of equity, used it to buy a much bigger home. I believe he's in the Mesa, Arizona area. And now we're texting here recently, and he's telling me about how crazy the cost of AC is, air conditioning, and especially now in a bigger home. And in Arizona, you only get a few months where you don't have to run the air conditioning, almost every day. And I actually lived out in Tucson, Arizona for a while, did some work out there and had to relocate. And I believe it was only October, November, December, maybe parts of January where I didn't have the air conditioning on most of the day. And these energy costs, these um, utility costs are just punishing people. And that's one of the many things why, one of the many reasons why people are starting to wake up and trying to figure out what's going on here. Now, of course, if they just watch the 6 o'clock news, they're going to believe that this is all because of the war, that this is all because of the health crisis and the ongoing disruptions in shipping and transport, supply chains, etc. But if we go back to even pre 2020, we know that things were headed in the wrong direction with the amount of debt that people are getting in, the cost of everything, how other areas of the economy have been shutting down, the farms have been being decimated, and there's not much going on to fix these things. And I'm not out here to say it's this person's fault, that person's fault. There's many people that'll tell you, oh, it's this person's fault. Once he's out of office, everything will be better. If it was just one person's fault here in the United States, one person sitting in an office somewhere, if it's just their fault, then why are we seeing global inflation? Global inflation, global debt skyrocketing, many different countries, most of the world engulfed in this. If it was just one person's fault sitting in an office here in the US, you think this would be happening globally? So no, a lot of you, even today, some of you need to probably wake up. I know 95% of you on this channel know exactly what's happening. And you know the situation. You're not just blaming it on one person. And I don't agree with most of these people that are running things. Most of these economic engineers have been wrong. They're going to continue to be wrong. There's a lot of people out there trusting these people, saying, "Oh, they're going to fix this." So think about this: the people that got us into this mess where we're at now, they're going to fix it supposedly. A lot more people need to wake up. But yes, people are waking up because of what's happening, and it's going to get a lot worse. And maybe this is what we need. Maybe some punishment needs to be dished out to the average person that just sits there on their couch thinking that everything's going to be fine, that everything's going to be put back to normal. And I'll say it again, I think the new normal is abnormal. Well, let's get into some of the more recent news headlines here today. Los Angeles Chevron gas station charging over $8 a gallon. Got a few friends in LA, in the LA area, and some family up there too. And it's in the mid sixes, in the sevens, and now close to eight in many areas. Even Northern California on the coast, somebody posted this on one of the media sites, $10 a gallon. And the U.S., we're shifting away from the energy that we've been using for many, many decades. And it's not just me saying that. There's this push for green, and I think all of us want clean energy, green energy, less pollution, cleaner oceans, leaving a cleaner earth for the young people, the kids, but have something in place before shifting away from traditional fossil fuels and this energy, because this is what we're going to see without everyone having solar and some other backup energy source. And some people say electric cars are the solution. But look at all the power disruptions, power outages. How's that going to turn out when the power goes out? So it's a mess right now, and we're shifting away from um, traditional fuel, oil, energy. And again, another article that puts this into perspective. It's not just me saying this. Take a look at this. Out of oil price, Chevron CEO says no new refineries in the U.S. ever. And it's interesting because we continue to import oil. Yes, we still have some refineries that are going, but no new refineries. We're no longer expanding our production on oil. And this is the shift. This is the transition. And no, we don't have enough other alternative energy sources in place to make this a smooth and easy transition. So expect oil to continue to skyrocket, gas prices continue to skyrocket. But yet, despite this, we see another holiday here this past week, another holiday weekend where record travel. People are still traveling in record numbers. And that's the American way. Continue to spend, spend, spend all the way into bankruptcy. And people say, no, there's no crash because people are still at the amusement parks. They're still at the malls. They're still out driving. Some car just blew past me on the freeway doing about 120. They're not worried about the gas prices. So there's nothing wrong, people say, when they see these things. But yes, people will spend their way all the way into bankruptcy and discharge all the debt. Speaking of debt being discharged, we've got a lot of students now got their loans discharged that got their education from certain education institutions, and it left a lot of people, happy. The people that got their debt discharged happy. What about the people that worked 2 or 3 jobs that held off on taking vacations because they wanted to pay off their student debt? Those people are left hurting right now. But yeah, the cost of living, the fuel price is going to continue to go higher. We're shifting away from the traditional sources of energy, and we don't have anything to replace it, so it's going to be rough. And again, it's not me saying that. Look at the Chevron CEO, what he's saying. Most Americans feel there's a recession or one on the way, a poll shows. And it's funny because the unemployment number is still close to all-time lows. Those of you on this channel know that the unemployment number is basically cherry-picked data, and it doesn't count people that have been out of the labor force for a certain period of time. It doesn't count people that are no longer looking for work. And basically, it's almost a worthless number. But of course, the 6 o'clock news, they're going to say, "Oh, this economy is doing pretty well. Look at the unemployment number. But look at wages not keeping up with the cost of living. Even people that are employed are struggling, close to 7 and 10, living paycheck to paycheck. Even people making six figures, 250,000, many of them living paycheck to paycheck because the American way is to look as successful as possible, or glamour, whatever you want to call it, vanity. People want to have the nicest looking house, the newest car, the coolest looking car, regardless of how much debt they have to go into. So people making even 250,000, 1/3 of them living paycheck to paycheck. It only takes a couple missed paychecks, and they need to be rescued. But they've got a nice house, they've got a nice car. It looks nice anyway. Now let's talk about this here. There's many people out there that will tell you that saving companies money, corporate tax cuts, etc., will help the consumer because these companies are going to come out and give everybody breaks now, and they're going to lower their cost. Well, it's not true, and some people think that it's just simply greed that's causing all this. It's much more than greed, but it's definitely a part of it. And here's just a few examples. It's not inflation that's corporate greed. Again, it's a lot more than this, but people, we need to put this into perspective. McDonald's now with higher prices topped $23 billion in revenue in 2021. Although profits soared 59% from a year earlier, are they cutting prices on their food? I think not. ExxonMobil, back to oil again here, reports 8.9 billion fourth quarter profit as oil prices soar. And are they cutting prices? I think not. In fact, they resumed stock buyback repurchasing program. UPS just posted record-breaking profits, plans to hike prices in 2022. That was a article back in October. So no, corporate tax cuts are not the solution. These companies are not going to turn around and cut prices and pass the savings along to the consumer. They're going to buy back more of their stock. They're going to give the CEO bigger salaries, and your cost of living is going to continue to go up. You may see some items come down that are overstocked, oversupplied, maybe toys, and some other trinkets will come down. But the $1.25 tree that's still being called the Dollar Tree, but $1.25 in actuality are not going back to being the Dollar Tree or the 99-cent tree anytime soon. And people point to the 99-cent store saying it's, yes, still the 99-cent store, but if you look through there, a lot of items are no longer 99 cents, and the packages are getting smaller, what's called shrinkflation. So continue to prepare everybody. Anyone that tells you that these people that are running things, the economic engineers, are going to fix this, remember, the same people that got us into this mess, but it's also the consumer. The average U.S. person's got into this mess by not paying enough attention, by overconsumption, by not caring about tomorrow, by living beyond their means. And I'm not here to rain on anyone's parade. I'm not telling you not to take a vacation, not to go out and buy the new car. Do what you will, but even those that look rich and feel rich right now are going to be part of this. They're going to feel the impact of this economic decline, and it's going to wake up more people as we continue. Thanks everybody for being here. Be well. Stay safe. Keep stacking. Stay positive, and stay alert, and stay on top of the news by coming back to this channel. Please subscribe if you like what we talk about here. Peace, people. Bye.